Hey guys, today I'll be reviewing the Everlast 16 ounce Pro MX training gloves. These come in both hook and loop like I have here, as well as lace up. And I believe they go all the way from 14 to 18 ounces if I'm not mistaken. Anyhow, this is Everlast's MX line, so this is their version of Mexican style training gloves, and are very similar to Reyes gloves and many other Mexican style gloves. Right off the bat, I can tell you that these gloves almost, I think they use the same leather that Reyes uses, because it's almost identical in both finish, fit, quality, and even smell, which is a very high quality leather glove. This is by far, in my opinion, out of all the gloves I've reviewed for Everlast, are the best quality gloves that Everlast has made by far. The leather is the nicest, thickest, obviously the highest quality. The stitching is probably the best, and overall a very high-end glove. If you were to ask me if I were to compare these to Reyes, I actually like these better than Cleto Reyes gloves. Aside from the fact that I think the quality is almost on point, except for maybe a little bit of the stitching on the Reyes is a little bit better. The quality is a little better on the Reyes, the quality control. But to me, the leather they use on this is pretty much the same as Reyes. But the biggest difference is that this is almost a combination between a puncher's glove and like winning, where you can use these on the heavy bag, where Reyes, the knuckle padding is fairly soft, so it really compresses when you hit the heavy bag. So for those of you that have hand issues, that are very sensitive with your hands, or you've had a fracture or something and you have a tweak in your wrist and you just need more protection, these gloves, in my opinion, are better than Reyes as far as using them for training, not just mitt work. And you can also use these for sparring as well, with feeling comfortable without beating up your sparring partner too much. So anyhow, here's the overall look of the glove. You can see has a very nice sheen to it. To the leather, has the Everlast logo on the front. Made in Mexico on the wrist. That's showing Mexico. Show you the palm side of it and take the gloves out real quick. You have the Velcro hook and loop. The stitching on here is all pretty on point. Very nice quality strap. Again, I got these in 16 ounce, so you can see the weight label right there. Has the elastic band like all boxing gloves do right here in the middle to keep the sides of them together. Stitching, double stitching throughout. You can see the stitching on the thumb as well. Attached thumb at the top. This attached thumb is kind of nice. It actually has a slot where you can see that the piece of leather goes through, so it's slotted where that goes in. Has a fairly good grip bar on there, typical of most gloves you have. You have your MX logo on the side, and overall it's a very nice looking glove. One thing I did notice, and I don't know what this is for, but on these gloves, on both gloves, the left and the right side, I noticed that in the front of the gloves right here, I have an identical crease. Now, I don't think this is a defect, or they were just sitting in the box when they came in, but it almost feels like it's actually in the foam itself. So I don't know if that's something that Everlast did on purpose, where they have a crease right there, but you can kind of see if I pull down on it, it's almost like it's part of the foam itself and not part of the leather. So, and both gloves have it on the exact same spot. So not a big deal, it doesn't affect anything, it's just more aesthetics looking at it. And then it has the lining, has a standard nylon polyester lining with the stitching on the inside. So a very, very nicely crafted glove. Definitely give Everlast a round of applause for actually making a really nice quality product. And then it has this little overlapping leather right here down on the wrist area, on the forearm area. Profile wise, these gloves are about medium. They're actually, I wouldn't say they're as bulky as like their Protex gloves, but they're also not as slim profiled as like the winning gloves that you'll see, like the MS400 or MS500. They're kind of right in the middle as far as the size goes. So these 16 ounce, you can kind of see they fit really nicely. They almost go all the way up to my elbow. So it does have a longer profile. It's not a short glove. So for those of you that like shorter gloves, this is definitely not the glove you would get if you want some shorter. So it does have a longer profile. The hand compartment's a little bit looser than Reyes, so it gives you a little bit more room for those of you that used to like to really wrap up your hands real padded. This definitely will accommodate your wrist wrap or your bandages inside. It does have a pretty broken in feel. You might have to break it in just a little bit, but it's not too bad. One thing that's a little bit better than the Reyes gloves, but it still could use some work, that I'm not a really particular fan of, is the thumb positioning. It's not so straight, so where you don't have like a natural thumb position. I find myself when I use these gloves, I found that my thumb on the inside likes to rub right here, similar to what it does with the Reyes. So after some time, I felt that my thumb was kind of jamming into the foam every time I would hit. So I wish that the thumb was kind of more straight out rather than it kind of downwards, and it would be it would be a perfect glove. Another thing I noticed that on the inside, obviously you can't see right now, where my knuckle is sitting on the inside of the glove right now, it feels like the nylon lining on the inside, they use too much. So what happens is the nylon bunched up. So it feels like you can just feel like a bunch of nylon ripples hitting my knuckle on the inside. Again, not a big deal, just something I noticed on the inside. It doesn't feel smooth when you put your hand in. It feels kind of textured on the inside. So not a big deal, but you could definitely make a good fist. It's pretty broken in. Might take a couple rounds on the heavy bag and doing some mill work to really break them in. But overall, really nicely broken in. Has really decent wrist support. I think I could use a little bit more padding on the wrist area here. That way when you lock this down, it really locks your wrist in. But overall, really nice. So yeah, definitely a nice glove. They're very expensive. I believe if you get these at full price from Everlast, they're like $175, or wherever you get them from, they're like $179. I definitely would stray away from paying full price for these gloves. Not saying that they're not nice gloves, but I definitely don't think I would pay that much for them. So, look out for Everlast. Every now and then they like to put those coupons out, or those promotional codes for, 20, 30, 40, 50% off. And then even in, Thanksgiving or whatnot, they usually come out cheaper because they have Black Friday and all that. So definitely something I'd wait for to come down in price. So, but overall, very nice glove, great stitching, very comfortable. You can definitely use these for a variety of training, not just using these for mitt work or whatnot, because you have sensitive hands. So, definitely a grade A product that Everlast has come out with. Highly recommended. If you guys have any questions about them, feel free to ask me or hit me up.